Let me talk a little bit about unit conversions you're going to use in physics. All these quantities are things that we're going to use to do unit conversions for things in physics. You'll have time to write these down in class, but you might want to pause right now and write them down now. I don't know. Notice that the ones with equal signs here, these things are actually exact, right? An hour is exactly 60 minutes, is exactly 3,600 seconds. By kilometer, we mean 1,000 meters, etc. But it's approximately, this is an approximation, and presumably this decimal goes on and on, right? These guys are all equal, right? So a mile is that many feet, is that many yards, and it's about 1609. So if you run 4 laps on the track, you haven't quite gone a mile. This is approximate, that's equal. And then notice these things here. These things are actually called conversion factors. Conversion factors. Okay, and these are just shortcuts. I'll show you how to use those. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide here. Okay, so here's an example. We want to convert 30 miles per hour to feet per second. And typically the question like this is, if your car is going 30 miles per hour and you look to the side for 3 seconds, how many feet do you go? Well, you can't really do that with miles per hour, but you could do it with feet per second. So I'm going to show you 3 ways. The first way is this. You go 30 miles per hour. I always think it helps to write it that way, right? And then I'm going to get rid of miles, right? So I'm going to put miles down here, and I want feet. And I put the miles down there, right? And 1 miles is 5,280 feet, right? So this is equivalent. 1 mile is the same as 5,280 feet. I'm just changing what the units are. And then I want to get rid of hours, so I'm going to put hours up here. Okay, so 1 hour is, and I want feet per second, right? So an hour is 3,600 seconds. Okay, and now I'm all set. I can take my calculator and I can go 30 times 5,280 times 1 if I really want to, right? Divided by 1, divided by 3,600. Oops. All right. Okay, so let's see. And when I do that, I get exactly 44. So this is, and then the units, notice that the units, miles, go the way of the bison, feet. Whoops, feet don't cancel. Whoops. Hours do cancel, right? And you end up with feet per second, right? Okay, so that's an exact method. Okay, that's the best method to do. The next thing we could do is we could use a conversion factor. If you look, we want to turn miles per hour to feet per second. So if you look, 1 mile per hour is that many feet per second. 10 miles per hour would be 14.7 feet per second, right? So you just simply multiply miles per hour by this, right? So 30 miles per hour, right? If I multiply that by 1.47, really that's feet per second per mile per hour. Right, so the miles per hour cancel and you end up with feet per second. Notice when I do this, 30 times 1.47, I get 44.1. Now, we only have 2 sig figs, so we're really pretty good. We would get rid of that, right? But that's not quite as exact. And that's because this is rounded. The real conversion factor is 1.466666666666, right? Okay. And then the exciting other way, I'll show you. There's a third way. Okay. It involves using Google. All right. Let me do another example here. Okay, let's go 88 feet per second to miles per hour. So let's go the other way, right? So again, 88 feet per second. Let's do the exact way. Now you might guess if, let's see, 30 miles per hour is 44 feet per second. And 88 would be twice 30, so we should get 60 as our answer, right? Okay, okay, so let's see, feet, we want to cancel feet, so we'll put it down there. When we want miles, right? And then we don't want seconds, so we put seconds there, right? And we want hours, miles per hour, right? So 3,600 seconds is 1 hour, 1 mile is 5,280. So I know how to do this because I want to cancel these units, right? I put the feet down there because the feet are up there, right? Okay, so let's do this. 88 times 3600 divided by 5280. Indeed, that is 60 miles per hour, right? Okay, now let me just show you a little trick here. And that is that, see that same unit conversion there? Okay. Notice that if I take miles per hour and multiply by this, I will get feet per second. Okay. If I already have feet per second, I can actually divide by this one, right? So I can go actually 88 feet per second divided by 1.47, right? Right. And I get 59.86, which is roughly 60 miles per hour, right? Okay. So a conversion factor can go both ways, right? If it's like this, if you multiply by it, it goes one way, and then the same conversion factor can be used to go the other way. In fact, I'll bet that this guy here, the 0.682, right, this conversion that goes the other way is just 1 over 1.47, roughly, right? Put little roughly, it's roughly equal to that, right? So these conversion factors, you really don't need two, you can just use one. In the next two examples, I'm going to deal with meters per second and kilometers per hour. You should probably look at those two because it's far more likely that the book is going to give you kilometers per hour and meters per second.